J. Edwards, Spry Training. Today we have a question from a subscriber, Nelson. Nelson wants to know how does he possibly get rid of these boob-like man boobs in his lower pectorals. This is a common situation I have with a lot of clients that comes in to reduce body fat. Man boobs, also another health term for this is gynecomastia, which is a situation where there's a hormonal imbalance in the blood for males where they are producing too much female-like hormones like estrogen, which causes them to store a lot of body fat in this region. Also, this site in the body, the pectoral region, according to biosignature, is responsible for a lot of androgen storage, and this can connect quite closely to the triceps site. Going straight into the answer for the question, dealing with exercises which can resolve this. Resolving this isn't so easy. If it's gynecomastia, it is more to do with nutrition and fixing the hormonal imbalance. If it's not gynecomastia, and the only way we will know this is by reducing body fat down to somewhere about 12% and below. And if that's the case where you have abs, rectus abdominis showing, or you're quite lean all over and you still have a high proportion of body fat in the pectoral region, that means it's possibly gynecomastia and that needs to be looked at more in depth. However, reducing body fat can be done in 3 different ways or more, but today I will just suggest 3 different ways. The first situation is doing high volume training. So get on a bench press doing 10, maybe up to about 12 sets. But the important factor here is the rest period. You want to be working with a weight probably about 60%, between 40 and 60% of a 1 repetition max. So 1 rep max is the amount of weight you can push for 1 rep. So 60% of that. So if it was 100 kilos that you can push for 1 rep, you literally bring it down to 60 kilos and you will do that for 10 reps. But the most important factor is the rest between sets. This should be maintained strictly at about 30%, keeping this level of rest quite low. Therefore, there's lactic byproduct build-up still within the blood, and we can cause a lot of metabolic damage from this situation and have hypertrophy taking place, and also working in a cardiovascular capacity, reducing body fat over time. That's one way. A second option is doing aerobic cardiovascular activity, which is literally going for a steady pace jog or run, walk, anywhere between 40 and 60 minutes for about 5 days per week, and doing this rigorously. There can't be any days off apart from the designated 2 days which you will have to plan for, and can't have any slippages on this. That's another way to reduce the body fat. Final way of going about this is through doing anaerobic cardiovascular activity, which is literally short bursts sprinting. So sprinting possibly for around 30 seconds, around 200 meters, 90% sprints, don't kill yourself. And the rest periods in between this, you want to look at probably around 30 seconds also, and then go back into it for about 10 sets. So there you go. There's 3 possible alternatives for you to reduce body fat. However, if you do reduce body fat and you still are presented with this high proportion of ratio of body fat within the pectorals, that means gynecomastia is quite a high possibility. Also, to assist you whilst doing the 3 protocols I just discussed, either one of the 3 that you might do, you want to accompany this with a good nutrition balance, because nutrition is probably the most important part of dealing with this issue. If there's very small signs of gynecomastia or high proportion of body fat within males, and the type of body fat that makes you look sort of female, where it's storing in places like this site of the pecs, the site of the triceps in particular, which is an also good indicator, and also sites in and around the hips or the iliac crest, which that does also signify carbohydrates, but we won't go too much into that. But nutrition, looking at promoting testosterone within the blood. So zinc levels need to be substantial. You can take this in tablet form as a supplementation. Also vitamin D and looking at omega-3s such as cod liver oil to help you to regulate your blood. Maca as well is another good a powder form maca which you can get. It's a Peruvian root. It also helps with literally dealing with any imbalances within the blood in terms of hormones, and that is also another good product to possibly consider. Anti-estrogenic foods such as broccoli is also a good option to think about bringing into the diet, and all these factors should play a key role in assisting you to reduce the body fat within this region. Unfortunately, there isn't a resistance exercise like say chest flies, which will just get rid of this body fat, because body fat, the body, you can't precisely dictate exactly where you will reduce body fat. It's just a situation where your hormonal profile will dictate this after doing a particular kind of training. So just to wrap this up, reduce the body fat down to a level of about 12% or below, where you are looking lean in the stomach, so the anterior core, particularly the rectus abdominis, starts with the long words, that the abs, as we all know it. So when you can see the lines on your stomach, that's a good indication to you being in a 10% and below body fat. It all shows up at different percentages for different people. And once you get there, if there is still a considerable amount of body fat within the pectoral region, then you need to heavily insist on the nutrition, possibly before going to see a medical doctor in terms of you having hormonal replacement and that kind of stuff. But that's quite serious cases. Having seen your pictures and stuff, and knowing how you train, I wouldn't think there's any issues there that serious. It's just a matter of reducing body fat in your case. Also, having hormonal issues isn't a major in terms of strength. There isn't any actual real proof out there that there is a correlation or some kind of relationship between anabolic hormones and strength. However, there is relationship between hormonal profile of anabolic hormones and muscle development. So you might be very strong, but this doesn't mean that you can't have any hormonal issues. So let's just get that very clear. Guys, do like the video if you like it. If you don't fucking like it, then drop a comment in the box and say why. Also, if you share the video, whatever, get the old process going out there of spry training amongst your friends. I do like questions coming in, so guys, don't feel shy to send in your questions and get my opinion on the matter, or assist you for free, of course, with any things you may want to achieve. Also, thanks again for watching this video. J. Edwards, Spry Training.